Golf doesn't get too much attention in the popular media these days, but recently Korean golfer Kevin Na has put golf in the spotlight because of the amount of time it takes for him to address the ball. People have been discussing whether or not rules need to be put into place, but I'm no expert in golf, so I have Dave on the other line who will probably put things into better perspective for us. How you doing today, Dave?
Very good. How are you?
Not bad. So getting right into this, what do you think needs to be done, if anything at all, about Kevin Na?
I think right now Kevin Na is dealing with his own timing issues. He's a very methodical golfer. He visualizes everything. When he's on the tee, he has to stand behind him and make sure he's lined up properly for his drive. The caddy will say, "You're okay," and he will walk to the side. That's very unusual. I don't see a lot of pro golfers having their caddy stand behind them. It does happen in women's golf quite a bit. You'll see the caddy stand behind the golfer, even on the green when they're putting. You'll see the caddy make sure that they're lined up properly. But for a professional golfer, it's unusual. I don't notice it a lot with other golfers. But what Kevin's going through is a timing issue. He goes through, he calls them waggles. Everybody has a different term, but he has this thing in his mind where he sets up to address the ball, and he goes through 6 waggles, which is sort of like a backswing, and then set up again, and then a backswing, and set up again. He goes through this 6 times, and then on the 7th time, he'll hit the ball. But what he's having a problem with is on that 7th time, he doesn't feel like he's comfortable enough to follow through with his swing, and he actually swings over the ball, which is not a stroke because he does not intend to hit the ball, but it throws everybody else off. You know, the crowd is expecting him to hit the ball. His partner that he's golfing with that particular day is expecting the ball to get hit, and he actually swings over the ball and then has to start all over again. 6 more waggles. When it happens once, it's not too bothersome. But when it happens on every hole, it starts to drain on his competitor, you know, the person he's playing with that day. And they don't really admit it, but after several times, it does start to wear on the other golfers.
Now, in comparison, how long would you say it takes the average golfer to go through that situation without all the waggles?
Well, most golfers have a routine that they go through to get themselves ready to hit the ball off the tee. Not as much on the fairway. I mean, they go through the same routine. They may take a practice swing. They may stand behind the ball and visualize where they want to hit the ball. And you'll notice they go through kind of a routine, but you'll very rarely see them doing what Kevin Na is doing with the whiff. You know, if you want to call it a whiff, he doesn't hit the ball. He's a good golfer. I mean, he's in contention for the lead on the final day. He was the leader after 54 holes, but I believe on the last day, on Sunday, some of the crowd was actually following him to see what's going on with his, his routine, more than they were to root him on to win the tournament, which is kind of sad. I mean, if you think about it, they're watching a guy that's suffering and enjoying it in a sense, you know.
Do you think that the added pressure of the crowd surrounding him, and he kind of knows that that's why they're there, is that adding some extra pressure?
I honestly don't believe it has anything to do with anybody except for Kevin Na. I don't think the crowds are affecting him. I don't think the pressure of being in the lead is affecting him. I don't think it's the competitor affecting him. This is simply something in his head that is causing him to go through a routine and then not follow through with it. He's not ready. When he should be hitting the ball, he gets out of rhythm, and he cannot do that. Once he starts to swing, he cannot stop halfway down. As Tiger would, Kevin Na says that he has to actually swing over the ball and then start his routine all over again. I don't know how long this is going to go on, but I think if it goes on for, another tournament, I think other golfers are going to start speaking out a little bit more than they are now. They're being very kind, allowing him some time to get through this,
Right. What kind of things do you think could be done, if any?
Well, the officials put him on a timer. His group was put on a timer because they were taking a little bit too long. So because they're taking a little bit too long, that means they're not keeping up with the group in front of them. And once a group starts to fall behind, it affects the rest of the play behind them. Now, on Saturday, I believe was the day that he was warned, actually they warned both golfers, but it's because of Kevin Na more than anyone else.
Right.
So the officials can deduct one stroke penalty for a time of play. Now, they didn't do that, but that is an option that the course officials can do. As far as anyone else, I really wouldn't expect his competitors to say anything to him directly, like, Kev, you got to knock that off. You're driving me crazy. I don't think you're going to hear any of that. I think they're going to give him the time to work his way through it, But I can tell you, I golf, but I'm far from being anywhere near as good as anyone, in the tournament. And there are certain times when you're out with a group, just friends or whatever, and, somebody has, I call it an idiosyncrasy, or, they do something that just irritates you,
Right.
You might have somebody that has a temper and, they throw their club, or you might have somebody that swears, or, you're out there to have fun, and, this particular person is doing something that it irritates you. Well, you can only imagine how it is at the professional level, when you have something like this going on, and you almost have to wonder if it starts to affect the other players, because they have timing things also.
Mm-hmm.
And if they're thinking about Kevin Na and his whipping, swinging over the ball and all that,
right, it's taking focus away from them.
To affect their play,
Right. So now, to put this in perspective time-wise, how long do you think it takes him compared to some of the other golfers?
Actually, if you look at the total time of the round, it is not that excessive. So the overall, the total time to play the entire round, 18 holes, I believe was a little over 4 hours. And, if you checked any other groups that are out, it's going to be very comparative. So I don't think the length of time is the issue. I really think it's more of the problem that he's going through aggravates people. That's really what I think it is. The fans get a little aggravated, the announcers get a little aggravated, and I'm sure the competitors get a little aggravated. But everybody is being very kind and not saying too much, like in the press conferences and stuff like that.
Right.
They're being very kind, giving them time to get through it. But if it goes on for too much longer, I think it's going to turn into a bigger issue.
Right. Well, that's great. I want to thank you for joining us. I think that puts things in a better perspective for everyone out there.
All right. Thank you very much. It was nice talking with you.
Take it easy.
You too.
All right, guys. Well, let me know what you think. What are your thoughts on Kevin Na, and what do you think should be done, if anything at all? Thanks for tuning in.